Dreams don't die, and as long as I'm alive and in command of the Andromeda, neither will the Commonwealth.
You want to restore the Commonwealth?
I think it's my duty to try. But I need help. I need a crew.
Us?
Well, I was still shooting Hercules at the time, living in New Zealand. And we were on season 7 of that show. And Universal wanted to go 3 more years on it, but I'd reached a total burnout phase. And I just wanted to do something different. As much as I love the show, I know I made a lot of fans very upset, but the show's still near and dear to me, but I just need to do something different. And Majel Roddenberry actually got a hold of me through my manager, Eric Gold, and my agents at ICM, and they said, look, you know, Majel wants to talk to you about this idea she has for it's not really a spin-off of Star Trek, but it's still from the same guy, you know, Gene Roddenberry. And right away, I was like, sure, I'll listen to what she's got to say. And she gave me a call in New Zealand, and she explained the idea to me, and they sent me a bunch of different scripts. They said, look, he had 3 different shows here that, he's not got a number of shows, but they had 3 different shows that she thought I'd be right for. I was immediately drawn to 2 of them. And I said, is there any way to take the best ideas from these 2 shows and merge them into 1 show? And she said, well, sure, you know, and so we started talking from there, and just one thing led to another, and I had a contract signed, sealed, and delivered with the last 3 months of Hercules still on the table to shoot. So, you know, from an actor standpoint, it's comfortable. I had a job waiting for me already, and, you know, the rest is kind of history. We started right away. We started casting right away. It took 9 months from the time Hercules finished to the first day shooting up here. And I was part of the whole casting process. I got to meet everybody from, you know, who we're going to get for Becca, who we're going to get for Tyr, who we're going to get for Bem, and for Harper, for Trans, for Andromeda, the ship itself. You know, I was there from the beginning to sort of just look at all the different tapes and meet the actors. And I actually did screen tests with a couple of the characters, and it was it was an interesting process for me. It was fun to be there I was at the beginning of Hercules, but I had nothing to do with the development of it. This show, I all of a sudden was thrust right into it with all the other cooks in the kitchen. And it was fun. It was an interesting road. And then we got here to that very first day shooting.
According to my calculations, we have been frozen in time for over 300 years.
300 years?
To meet with Robert Hewitt Wolf, who became, you know, the original showrunner, his Bible is what the show, he took the works of Gene Roddenberry, but, you know, he had to elaborate on it. We had to have something to build from, because Gene's entire idea of the show was really, he had a script for one of the shows. He had 2 other shows that he liked the character Captain Dylan Hunt. And they did a pilot in one of them with an actor by the name of John Saxon. Back in 1969 or 70, they shot that. And nobody picked it up. I have the pilot. I have it. It's in my collection back at home, so I've seen the pilot. And, you know, it's kind of neat to see, you know, the ideas they had then and where we're taking it now. And Robert took it, you know, in a bigger and broader way, which is good. You know, you got to look at a show. You don't look at a show you can't show the entire idea of a show in 1 episode. Unfortunately, that's what networks and everybody else wants you to do now when a new show's out there, because they don't give shows a chance anymore. You have to look at a show and say, okay, what is it to get from episode 1 to episode 100? You need a 5-year plan with the show before you start it. And I think some writers and studio people let that get away from them. And they've sort of lost that focus. And now if a show's not a hit right away, they just pull it off. They don't give it a chance. We have no patience anymore for anything. And shows like MASH, most certainly Cheers, in today's world would have been canceled within the first season. You know, they wouldn't have given a chance. Seinfeld wouldn't have lasted. You know, but they had somebody behind those shows say, look, this is a really good show. You know, so it still happens today. It was actually, I remember very well. It was very funny, because I remember I said, for my character, I said, why can't Dylan Hunt have a vice, a hobby, a pastime, something he does, and he just wants to be alone and think? I'm a big golfer, I'm a big basketball player, so I said, let me have one of those 2 things. I like to have both of them. That why can't I have some old putter from Bobby Jones era, you know, here's thousands of years later, but I have this putter, this game that originated on the planet Earth. And I'm in my office just putting away, doing this game, and I think you'd have funny conversations out of that as I'm talking to people, and this is how I think, and this, because I did it I still do. I still go play basketball, you know, I'll go on my own and just shoot free throw to free throw, but it's sort of a way for me to sort of zen out and just have my own time and think. And they wouldn't give me the golf, they gave me the basketball. So the very first thing we shot was with Dylan Hunt, myself, and Keith Hamilton-Cobb, who played Tyr on Asazi, playing basketball. I'm trying to teach him the game. It wasn't the first scene of an order, but it was the first scene that they shot. We get on the stage, and Keith is 6'5", he's incredibly ripped, and he couldn't play basketball. Life frickin' depended on it. And I started laughing. And he says, what, because I'm a 6'5" black man from New York, I should be able to play basketball? I said, yes, you should. I'm sorry. As built as he is, and you think he's this big athlete, but you know, Keith was always a very artistic, theatrical kind of guy who just happened to like working out. But he never played sports growing up. So it was kind of interesting that, you know, that's all I did growing up was play sports. You know, he was doing the arts and I was just, you know, trying to be a jock and pick up girls. So that was my job as a kid. And, you know, so it was funny. It was a funny, I'll always remember that. It was hilarious. But it was, you know, the nerves were there, the excitement was there. It was a buzz to be on a new set. Of course, you know, none of us knew each other. Nobody knew anybody. And, well, the crew did. The crews worked together. Half the crew, actually more than half the crew had worked on X-Files before they came over to us, and many other things, of course. So I was confident that I had a great crew, because that show was an awesome-looking show. And, you know, to pile into it and start doing this this new series, you know, everybody comes in, who knows, you know, and they're thinking about me, too. They're going, and I think I have a pretty good reputation in Hollywood, and people know that I'm not a jerk, and I'm pretty fair to everybody. I'm always willing to hear everybody's opinion on things. And, so, you know, again, the set, people were, it was like this generic kindness. It was, you know, it's breaking ice, getting to know each other. But I remember Gordon Verheul, our DP, very first scene, you know, I said all my dialogue, and he goes, wow, the lead actor actually knows his dialogue, he said. Because I have been on shows where guys just come on, they're looking for your cue card, or they're just like, what's my line, just give me my line, or something, you know, because they don't want to spend that time doing the homework. And, you know, I'm old school. I study very hard, I work very hard with the writers, and, you know, I think coming into a new show, if I'm the guy they built the show around, it's important for that number one actor on the call sheet to set an example. And to me, it's like, look, I'm willing to do the work, and I know it's infectious for everybody else, and the other actors come on and do the work too. And we've always had a good relationship that way on the show, which is good. We have fun. Our blockings are very, you know, off the wall. I know when new actors come on the show to guest star, they're like, going, you know, because we're changing stuff and we're doing this, and it kind of blows them away for a second, but then they catch on very quickly and they love it, and they like the relaxed set, which we have here. You know, I'm on my 12th straight year of one-hour television. And knock on wood, you know, I've been very lucky to have that kind of continuous work. And it becomes a factory in some way. It's you know, you check in and you check out, and you know, I get home at night, I try to spend time with the family, but you know, I'm still, once the kids are in bed, I'm studying, I'm looking at the lines, I'm looking at the next script and the next script after that, and I'm making notes for the next day on the set. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the things start blending together. I'm in there for the day we're shooting, but once I finish that day, I tend to just forget stuff. I mean, I can look back at an episode and remember the episode, but I won't remember the name. I mean, there are certain turning points. If you want me to throw out a couple names of scripts, I mean, there were certain turning points that I knew the show was gonna head in a different direction. One was Ouroboros, which I thought was a great episode. I loved the episode. Trance's character changed completely. I just thought it brought my character into a different light, that he became less military, he became more, I think there's just, you know, it's just, I liked the feel of the episode. I liked all the different stuff that was going on with all the characters. Everybody was involved, everybody had a story arc, and it was just a fun episode. But it's hard, I mean, it's hard to say that is my all-time favorite, but it's one of them. You know, there's another one called Home Fires, which we just called Home Fries. And, but we liked it. It was, you know, I think I liked that because we actually left the studio. We shot on location for a couple days, which we never do. So that was like, woohoo, big deal. But, boy, it's, you know, it's hard to pick one, because there's always a couple out of each season that I really think stand out, that I really enjoy. 100 episodes, guys. Not many shows get to that mark, so I just want to say thank you for everybody's hard work. 100 episodes, millions of laughs. I'm stuck with bozos like this to work with every day in front of the camera, but thank God you guys are here to make us all look really, really good. God bless and thank you all.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the fact that we got 5 years out of it, you know? I think that this show is a damn good show, and I think it's one of the best kept secrets on TV because we have not done a very good job of promoting the show. We just haven't. I don't know why, but the studio never did. And it's unfortunate because it's a good show. And for the lack of promotional advertising, marketing of this series, and for it to get enough viewership and enough, you know, people behind it to make it go a 5th year is amazing, you know? So, you know, I'm proud of the fact that I've had 2 shows. One goes 7 years, one goes 5 years. I mean, if it's something to do with me, then that's great. Maybe that's a small part of it, but I just think I've been very lucky to be part of a team and a process that just, for whatever reasons, the stars lined up the right way, and I got to cruise at it because most shows don't make it past the first episode. They just don't, you know? I mean, the casualty rate is unbelievable in Hollywood. I mean, it's something like 3% of shows make it to 5 seasons. It's pretty low. You know, when you look at all the shows you see on TV and you go, oh, that was on TV. You know, you think of a Lost in Space and shows that were sci-fi back in the 60s, they went 2-3 seasons max. The original Star Trek went 3 seasons, you know, and it was done, you know, and it's, you know, it's pretty amazing, especially in today's world where they're looking to cut costs everywhere, and this whole, you know, out of necessity, reality TV was born, and unfortunately it's become a big hit with people, but that's a whole different direction we can go. I'm not a big fan of it.
3 hot babies.
It's a very well done show. I think the combination of the cast, you know, we've got 3 very talented actresses who all happen to be, well, actually we have 4 now, because we added a 4th this year in season 5, that are all very hot as well. That doesn't hurt. You know, there's a reason they put the girl next to the Ford pickup truck. You know, when they're selling a truck, there's still a hot babe there. Call it what you want, but there's still, that reality is still alive and well. And, you know, and they're all very good on top of it, which is key. I like my relationship with the guys in the show as well. I love my relationship with Gordon Levitt's character, Harper. I think it's a great relationship, and I like most especially this season what's happened with my relationship with Rade, where he goes through major changes from season 4 to season 5, and there's a rivalry, there's drama, there's conflict, and that's always fun to play as an actor. You know, it's just the audience, it gives them something more to sort of hang on to because I think people can relate to it. And I think people watch the shows for different reasons. Some watch for me, some watch to watch trans, some watch, I mean, I think when you've got such a wide variety of people in the show, my ego's not that big to think that, you know, oh, they're watching because of me. You know, it's a combination of everybody involved in the show, and I think that's what has helped make the show what it is.
Okay. Home sweet home.
Visual effects get better every single year. You know, we're in the house now with our FX crew, and when it's right there, not only do you save money, but that money can be transferred to making better visual effects. And we've got a library from season 1, 2, and 3 where they can take from, and it costs them a fraction to change them a little bit, move things around a little bit, and it's just a beautiful show. I mean, I don't like watching it on tape. I like to watch it on the DVD, on the big screen at home, and you just go, wow. I mean, I don't go up there enough I tell those guys how great they are, but I don't go upstairs enough to tell them how great they are, and I should, because that's just as big a star of the show as anybody else is. The visuals are awesome. Really, the ultimate ending was to make it look like everybody died. And it did look like everybody but Dylan died. I think that was sort of a safety net for the studio in case the show didn't get picked up for a 5th year. I always knew it was going to. I know it became posturing between the 2 powers that be. There's a Canadian firm called Can West, and then the American firm Tribune, which is sharing the costs on the show. Tribune had basically the final say if a show is going to continue or not for the full 5 years. Can West didn't want to do it, so it became this big. It became a big posturing thing. It was high noon. They were both at the end of the dusty street in this western and ready to point the guns at each other. It came down at the last minute, but I always believed the show would get picked up for a 5th year. And there was just a lot of, all these lawyers going back and forth, making money and wasting everybody else's time and money. And finally they just said, yeah, it's going to go a fifth year. So I think the ending was just sort of put there to make people think that, this is a place a show could end on. Because the last two-parter was a beautiful show. I thought they were amazing. I loved the ending with the white doors opening up and the music going and stuff. And it was very operatic and very just, it's where I want the show to be more. And I think this year we're doing that. I've already seen the first 3 episodes in complete form for the season 5. And I like this season. This is my favorite season so far because the characters are so different in terms of where their personalities are now and the selfishness and the individuality that's going on with each character now. And Dylan is also here's a guy whose life's been so military and depending on the whole, and now he's just saying, screw it. He's depending only on himself, and he's not putting up with it anymore. He doesn't have patience for it anymore. He's far more sarcastic this year than he's ever been, and I like it. It's fun. When I get episodes that sort of seem impossible to me, or I want to fight against because I don't think my character would do that, I also have to take a step back and go, why am I saying that? Am I afraid of looking stupid? Am I afraid of not being able to pull it off? Am I afraid of failure? And then I realized those are the exact same reasons why I got involved in this profession to begin with. They just did a little stunt back there. There's my body double getting hurt while I'm sitting here talking to you. I think it's important as an actor, because an acting coach told me years ago, when you stop getting the butterflies, when you stop getting nervous, all these kinds of things. And it actually was repeated to me years ago by Anthony Quinn, who I worked with on Hercules back in 93 and 94, 1993, 1994. When you stop getting nervous and it's time to stop being in the business, you have to keep testing yourself and challenging yourself. And I like the fact that we've got a group of directors now that have been with the show for 5 years. In the last 2 seasons, we've really narrowed it down to those 5 or 6 guys that come and do all 22 episodes. And they come in and try different things. Because, we're here most of the time. There's only so many different ways you can shoot this ship. And I like the fact that I've noticed it because I've directed myself. I notice they're doing their homework. They're coming up with ways to challenge themselves visually, and that in turn challenges everybody else on the crew because now they got to light it a different way. I've lit it this way for 5 years. Why would I do it that way, And the stunt they just did right now, which I hope you guys had a camera down there to watch, yeah? But you'll get a copy of it. We'll send you the rough cuts. And it's always fun to be tested. That's why in the off season I look for something different to do as an actor as well, because when you're on a show, any show, I don't care if it's a sitcom or a show like this, if you're in your 4th, 5th, and 6th year, it's easy to fall into a pattern. It's easy to just sort of sit back and let it coast. And I think it's important that you get yourself a little kick in the ass every once in a while because you need it. I'm still not completely comfortable watching myself. Like a lot of actors may feel that way. And being one of the producers on the show now too, I look at the director's cut and I looked at the producer's cut, and then I make notes on those cuts. Then I looked at a lock cut, and then I'll look at some of the visual effects that are going on. I'll see the show a lot in different stages and see how they're piecing it together and giving them my 2 cents. And then when the final show does come out and I see it, color corrected and visuals and sound and everything's in there, I'm always blown away. And it's very easy for me to remove myself from being that person playing that part. And I watch a show like a fan watches a show. I get into it. And I watch it, and I think that's a good sign, that it's compelling enough for me to watch myself and not think that that's me. I just did a DVD thing for Hercules a couple months back with Michael Hurst, who played my sidekick on the show, and we sat there, and I hadn't seen these shows in 7, 8 years, 9 years, and we sat there together, and it was just such a surreal feeling. Because I know that's me, and I remember being there, but it's like I don't remember being there. It was very, very odd. And so when I come on screen at the final product, it's different than when I look at it in the early stages of the director's cut and producer's cut, which I'm far more critical of my performances. And I'll always say, is there another take? Because I sucked in that one. Is there another angle? Is there another, So I'm always fighting for something just a little bit differently when it's coming on those early stages. But I think once again, you can't just sit back. I think you always got to strive to make yourself better. I mean, probably my biggest cheerleader and my biggest acting coach is my wife, who really should be an acting coach. She's the one that will look at an episode, and she's far more critical of things than I am. And I mean that in a good way, because she's a New Yorker. And she will basically bust my balls. And she'll say, you know what, you just said the lines in that scene, and she'll be right. She goes, you really could have given more there. You could have done this different. You could have done that. And she comes up with like 5 different alternative ways of doing it. And I look at her and go, why would you on set that day? So I have her actually run lines with me at night before I come the next day, and I listen to what she has to say, and she's the one to remind me to take chances, And I know another old acting coach like that too, about taking chances, and says, who cares if you look stupid? Who cares? And I grew up my whole life being the big jock in high school, and and the guy on the college campus thought I was a big stud, getting all the girls, whatever. And I fell into this weird sort of safety net that I didn't want to go out of, because, gee, I might look like an idiot. But as I have gotten older, I was 27 years old, and I sort of had an epiphany for me where I kind of went, I don't care. I really don't care what people think about me. I don't care if I make myself look stupid. Why not try something different in your life? And to me, it just helps you grow, most especially as an actor. Don't be afraid, take chances,